Good evening, Sergeants. This brief is unclassified. I'd like to send a special thanks to Staff Sergeant Liz, my small group leader, for being here today. Today we'll be covering military and professional bearing. Overview, we will go over the importance of military bearing, the NCO Creed and how it's a good guideline, ADRP 6-22 on military bearing, learning from your leaders, which is going to be the most important point, is how you're supposed to watch from your leaders and grow yourself off them. Then we'll go into a summary, and then we'll go and have a Q&A. Importance of military bearing. Every soldier will have to acquire military bearing to be successful in the military. The Creed of the Non-Commissioned Officer is a great guideline for this. ADRP 6-22 is a regulation that will help leader with leading and military bearing. Most importantly, you will learn a true military bearing by observing your leaders. A leader that has military bearing has a commanding presence and will have confidence and be tactful in whatever situation they find themselves. This is important because soldiers will be looking for a leader. Part of military bearing is being able to stay professional even in stressful situations. The Creed of the Non-Commissioned Officer. Why is this a good guideline, you ask? No one is more professional than I. There's a clear statement of being professional and showing that having a military bearing is being professional. Being professional is having military bearing. They go hand in hand. Being professional in stressful situations is showing your military bearing and having that fortitude to actually stay strong in stressful situations. My two basic responsibilities will always be upmost in my mind: accomplishing my mission and the welfare of my soldiers. Your military bearing will help accomplish those tasks. Having a strong presence in a clean uniform shows your level of professional bearing. Having a clean appearance, I like that too, because having a clean appearance is a big part of your military bearing. Not only is it first impressions when someone sees you, but that your appearance, it shows how much respect you have for this uniform. If I came in ate up and my name tapes were backwards, like, does that show that I actually took the time to look professional for this? No. If you go up to an NCO, go to parade desk and ask him a question, he turns around and his name tapes are off, his U.S. Army is hanging off, he doesn't even have a flag on, it shows he doesn't have much respect for his uniform. His military, his professional appearance is very ate up. And soldiers will see that, and they will instantly think that you're not a good leader because you don't have that military appearance, you don't have that military bearing. I realize I'm a member of a time-honored corps, which is known as the backbone of the Army. I like this too, the backbone of the Army. Backbone holds everything. Backbone is very, very important. So not only are you going to have that confidence and that commanding presence, you're going to have the backbone to hold it. And being an NCO is having that backbone. I'm proud of the Corps of Non-Commissioned Officers and will at all times conduct myself so as to bring credit upon the Corps, military service, and my country, regardless of the situation in which I find myself. This is a great guideline right here too. Regardless of the situation in which I find myself, this speaks volumes, because not only whatever stressful situation you find yourself, you will maintain that military bearing. That's what military bearing is being able to stay strong in stressful situations, being able to still have that bearing, being able to have confidence in yourself and have a commanding presence. Your soldiers will find that commanding presence and they will follow it. ADRP 6-22, Chapter 4, Paragraph 4. Skillful use of bearing, fitness, courtesy, and proper military appearance can help overcome stressful situations and difficult situations. I like this here because it breaks it down for you. Bearing, fitness, courtesy, proper military appearance. It's just a whole guideline of what you should look after to guide your military bearing, because you have to have that bearing. You can't be a pushover sergeant that a specialist or a private comes up to you and says they don't want to do something, and you're like, all right, well, I'll find someone else. No military bearing. Fitness is very, very important because, again, it goes back to that first impressions. When a soldier is failing PT, he failed his PT test, and he goes up to his NCO, who is overweight, drinks energy drinks every day, doesn't try to be fit, and he has to counsel him and say, hey, you need to do better on your PT test? What is that soldier going to think? Why do I have to do better on it when you can't even pass it? And plus, being fit is just an overall confidence booster. It helps you with that military bearing because you can keep up with your younger Joes during runs, and you can lift with them and not feel weak have that strong presence. Courtesy. Courtesy is also very important because asking soldiers how their day is going or asking about their family, connecting with your soldiers is very courtesy, and it's a lot of courtesy, and they're going to notice it. They're going to notice that you have the courtesy to ask those questions that no one really asks. That they'll see that and they'll follow that. And again, proper military appearance. Another huge one, like I said earlier, having that respect for this uniform. It's very important. It shows your military bearing and professional appearance. And being calm in stressful situations. Your soldiers are going to be in stressful situations with you, time and time again. It's up to you to stay strong and keep that backbone and remain calm in those situations, and your soldiers will follow that. Most important of all, watch your leaders. Your leaders are going to be there for you, and you're going to see both bad and good leaders. You can't just read ADRP 6-22 and expect, boom, I already have military bearing down. I'm good. I can do this. No, you're going to have to watch your leaders throughout your military career. You have to watch them because you're going to see both bad and good leaders. And you're going to have to judge yourself off them. You're going to have NCOs that don't care about their soldiers, that are failing PT tests and not trying to improve themselves. And then you're having NCOs that are ask questions about you, help you in situations, and actually task delegate, but not just task delegating, telling their soldiers to do something, but to help them understand why they're doing a task, help them understand what the task is for, and help them understand how to do it. That's what a good NCO is, and with good military bearing. So watch your leaders. So today we covered the NCO creed and how it can be a good guideline to help you with your military bearing. We covered ADRP 6-22, Chapter 4, Paragraph 4, and how it actually is a great other good guideline for military bearing and leadership. Being a good leader, being fit, having good bearing, military appearance, and courtesy. And then we've covered watching your leaders. You're not going to be able to just get military bearing by reading a couple documents. It's not how military bearing works. You're going to grow yourself as an NCO, as a leader, to have the military bearing. And we cover the importance of military bearing, how it's going to get you through your career, and how it's going to carry over into your civilian career on the outside. Are there any questions at this time? Thank you. You're dismissed.